What is going on, everyone? Mr. Mom Collectibles. I am back with breaking news from the Daily Bugle, or maybe something like that. But anyway, Hot Toys has brought us another announcement, and now we're shifting off of Star Wars a little bit and giving the Marvel fans a little taste with the new Spider-Man No Way Home, almost said Far From Home, uh, final swingsuit. So I want to jump right into it. And we have the final images, the blogger photos. They just came out this morning. And I know this is an exciting piece for a lot of collectors because, well, it's probably the best looking suit that we've seen from the Tom Holland series. A lot of people think this is the one they've been holding out for, skipping the integrated, skipping other versions. And so this was one of the last pieces that we were really waiting on to complete the No Way Home line. And it's a shame because this suit was so awesome. We saw it for like 30 seconds in the movie, and I really hope that we get to see more of this suit. I know when the video game was out, I used this a lot in the PS5 game just because it's such an awesome looking suit, and we really haven't seen it translated in a lot of medium, right? You saw 30 seconds of it in the movie. We got the hot toy and the video game. That's really all you have. Anyway, the figure looks awesome. The suit looks great. It's the closest, in my opinion, to a classic Spider-Man MMS movie version, if you will. And in the sculpt, this is a figure that it went through a sculpt change. It was one of those that they gave us an updated, that they did, they refined the head sculpt a little bit. We're going to talk about that, but I just want to jump through the photos. It looks really cool. I'm not going to be too hard on it because, for those that are talking about the creasing here, like, oh, the creasing, the suit, the bendability. I mean, I've said this before, like with my pros and cons videos, like, if, is this your first Spider-Man figure? I mean, this is stuff that if you had a few, you know what to expect already. This reminds me of the Spider-Man Mark IV suit from the first Spider-Man PS5 game or PS4 game at the time. And so how it had that shiny blue, and it's not going to have any stretchability. The suit's going to, it's going to have creasing and stuff. So if you have multiple Spider-Man figures, you know what you're expecting with this. But the vibrancy, the colors, the webbing. I was never a huge fan of Tom Holland's suits for the most part. I think he went through too many of them, kind of like Iron Man. This is just, we finally, like, it took the third movie for us to get as close to the basics as possible. And I absolutely love this suit. I loved everything about it. And I hope we get more screen time with it. But the head sculpt, it looks fantastic. I do really love the updates they did to the head sculpt. It is, like I said, a split design. They are utilizing that new attachment piece, similar to what Toby and Andrew have. So, like, if you zoom in here, you can see like the neck collar. They finally, Hot Toys has realized that Tom Holland doesn't wear his suit all the way up to behind his ears. If you have previous Tom Holland suits, originally the entire neck was the suit and you just pop the head on and that was it. So they finally broke the mold and gave us a more accurate neck where the suit only comes up to the Adam's apple. And that being said, it does create a much more accurate, cleaner presentation, especially if you want to showcase this head sculpt. And you can see here, the seam isn't terrible. If we learned anything from Toby, it'd be interested to see how blended this looks. And also there's one photo that shows the backside of it with the mask. There's one specific photo of him in his apartment right here. You can kind of see the neckline, the seam there, but it looks good. And then the other one I want to focus in on is actually the stitching. So if you're familiar with Spider-Man figures, you know that they have not cracked the code per se on this right here. And there is the center stitch. I know with Toby, that was a big deal. A lot of people had issues with the batches of some got bad ones, some got good ones. So there's the stitch because you can follow the black line. It kind of curves a little bit down. It looks probably the best that it's going to be. There it is once again. There's the stitch line. And then there it is too, how it just slightly curves. I say this all the time. Hot Toys hasn't cracked the code that there has to be a stitch right down the center. There's definitely a workaround for it, I'm sure. But in terms of Spider-Man cloth figures, it's probably the best looking one to date with the stitch mark. It's almost like they ran the seam, the web line right down the center of it to try to disguise that. So it's not terrible. Yeah, there it is. There's the photo of it right there. And so the creasing and everything, I'm not shocked. It's what comes with a Spider-Man figure. But like you said, that portrait, I think, is just spot on. I love the rolling eyes. It just gives so much character to this. You know, there's a trade-off obviously with the rolling eyes. You do have the split neck design, which I'm not a huge fan of. You know, so there's a little bit of a compromise, but it's not the end of the world. The connection looks good here. Really a solid piece. I would say for Tom Holland's final Spider-Man figure, as of now, it's definitely the best one in my opinion, and one that, you know, I will be displaying with the probably the mask off. And then the diorama. We'll get into the diorama in a minute. Diorama looks really cool. We do have a sideshow first look video, which we'll play now here just to kind of wrap up this video. Make sure I put this on high res. We'll start it over. But this is the sideshow first look video. If you guys are interested, the diorama looks really cool. I know people had said about the diorama being underscaled. I mean, I'm not going to sit there with a measuring tape and check it out. It's a cool multi-purpose piece. I could see people maybe using it for the Batman Returns 1992 Batman, because that was set in Christmas. So that's a cool looking piece. Daredevil, Punisher, another Spider-Man figure, you know, something like that. So that diorama adds just versatility. So kudos to that for those that are getting the deluxe version. That's an awesome piece. There's not much going on with it. Like I said, you look at the accessories, standard stuff, webs are the same, the eye gestures, the hands. So, I mean, to be fair, this isn't like a totally brand new figure. Probably the three biggest things is going to be the diorama, the suit, and the sculpt, but everything else are accessories that if you've had Spider-Man figures before, you're used to everything that you're getting, the webs, the web shooters, all that stuff. And so, like I said, this is just you know, it's a nice looking piece. I didn't pre-order this, but I can there's a couple places that still have it available that I'm going to grab it from. It's just that I was working on other pre-orders, so this is definitely one that I'm going to be getting. I passed on the integrated suit because I wanted something different. So I do plan on getting this one, the deluxe, if I can. If I don't, I'm not that upset about it. I save money, which boo-hoo, I save money. But I'm going to turn around and get this and pose this up with Toby and Andrew. So that will be like my big three Spider-Man figures. And so, like I said, I skipped on the integrated because this looks great. But like I said, seeing the seam here around the neck, really everything connects well. I'm looking at the web lines look like they line up great. And I mean, in this version, the seam going down the center of the head, it's not that big of a distraction in terms of, you know, the stitch mark, I should say. So it looks like it's pretty well. Man, that sculpt does look good. Wow, that is a really nice looking sculpt. Like, yeah, that's how I'm going to have mine displayed, is that sculpt can't stay in the box. It just can't. Now, the one downside to it, I suppose, but I'm sure there's people out there that'll work around it. I was going to say you could probably do a Peter Parker kit bash. You're just going to have to get a neck or some kind of a neck adapter. They can't use this with this one with the Spider-Man suit, although it could be pretty cool though, right? Because he technically wears the suit under his clothes. So technically using that sculpt on a body and keeping a little bit of the collar with the suit on it would be kind of interesting, because that kind of shows that, you know, the suit, he's wearing it underneath his street attire. So that's an interesting one. But this diorama is cool, man. It's a one-off. I like it a lot. It's something that we haven't seen before. And like I said, you could probably put two figures on this. Spider-Man battling, you know, Punisher, battling Daredevil. Or if you want to switch it up with DC, as I said, you could put Batman on there. That new Mars Toys, not Mars Toys, the Catwoman. There's a third-party Catwoman that just got announced today. And so that's pretty cool. I'm going to skip the articulation just because we kind of know they spend a lot of time on that. I'm going to scrub it to the end, but man, right there, we'll just wrap it up here. But that is an awesome looking piece with the pose like that. I'm really excited for this. And I know that a lot of people are just really happy about this figure. I really don't have anything negative to say. If you're going to talk about the creasing and all that stuff, you haven't had a Spider-Man figure by now. If you have a couple, you already know what you're getting involved with. Do I agree with it? No, but I'm not upset about it, because this is what it is. You kind of accepted that as collectors, that when you have Spider-Man figures, like these creasings and stuff, that's what comes with the material that they're using. But either way, I think it's badass. I will be getting it. Let me know in the comments below who's got this. Are you happy with it, picking it up? Let me know. Drop a comment. Please consider subscribing to the channel. But until then, this is Mr. Mom Collectibles saying take care, and I will see you guys in the next video.
Acknowledge me.